guest was once described by a journalist as perhaps the most popular commodity in Hollywood this side of Botox. He returns to the theatre for his next role, playing the villainous Iago in Othello. Ladies and gentlemen, Ewan McGregor. So you're rehearsing at present this part of Iago. Have you done much Shakespeare before?
I did As You Like It when I was at drama school, so a long time ago. And not any since at all, so it's very interesting.
So how did this come about then?
It came around when I was speaking to Michael Grandage, who is directing Othello and runs the Donmar warehouse here in London, Covent Garden. And we did Guys and Dolls together, maybe 2 years ago. And at that point, you know, we discussed maybe doing a Shakespeare later on and doing Othello. And so it came about like that. And there was a slot here to do it over Christmas. And yeah, we've got a great cast together.
Before we talk about that, I mean, I saw that Guys and Dolls. It was wonderful, wasn't it?
Oh, good. I loved it.
It was a great production.
I just loved doing it, yeah. I really did, yeah. And I did it for 6 months. I did it for a long run, the longest I've ever run anything in the theatre. I've never been in one production for that length.
Do you ever lose a sense of enthusiasm when you're doing a long run like that? Do you ever think, oh God, I've got to go and sing tonight and dance?
There's a shape to all of it. To every movie I've done, every play I've done, there's always a kind of dip in the middle. I did a one-day short once, a film called Desserts, and we shot it in one day, and round about lunchtime I got a bit fed up. And then it kind of picked up at the end of the day, and that's kind of what it's like. And I found that doing Guys and Dolls, you know, it's just part of the... It's just part of the deal, I think. You know, you're halfway through the run, things that used to work don't work anymore, and so then you start struggling to make those bits work, and then, of course, they'll never work, you know.
It's a great piece, of course. It's one of the great musicals, and, of course, then you're playing Iago, aren't you? A great part.
Right.
Because Iago's an evil man.
Yeah.
But there's a great sort of charisma to him and charm to him, isn't there?
It's really interesting. The most important thing is to play all of his decisions in the moment, you know, because he takes Othello apart, you know, and it's nice to watch him do it. I think that's the point, as opposed to him having come up with all these ideas off stage and then bring them on. So that's what I'm trying to do, and resist the temptation to play an evil man, because I don't think evil men come on and go ha 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 ha.
They don't think of themselves as evil.
No, they're doing what they want to do.
Exactly.
So that's the thrill of it. And the terrifying, just the terror of it is huge. It's such a huge part, and it's such a massive play, but an amazing play. It's quite brilliant. So,
and that's what Ken Brown was saying when we talked to him earlier in the makeup, that he was saying that, you know, like Paul said, that, you know, in the end it doesn't explain anything. You know, he's evil. Huh? So what?
No. At the end, he just says, you know what you know. And I'm not going to say anymore. And that's it, and he doesn't.
And that's a chilling thing about it, isn't it?
Yeah. But it is great, and we're having a great time. It's a really great cast. Chiwetel Ejiofor is playing Othello, who's an incredible actor, and I'm very lucky to be working with him. And we're really tearing into it, so it's good. We've got another couple of weeks left.
Before we start.
This
the first week in December, I think, is the real start, isn't
That's
it?
right,
You're letting them in before that.
That's right. We have a little preview period, but not very long. Yeah, not very long.
And what else have you been doing? You have a Woody Allen film?
I did a Woody Allen film last summer, and it was a great pleasure for me to work with him. I've always wanted to work with him, and I've been lucky enough to work with an awful lot of first-time directors, and I think that's great. I really enjoy that. I think there's something very exciting about standing next to someone who's managed to get there. You know, it's so difficult to get a movie made, and so to be standing next to a guy or a girl who's directing the film for the first time is a great privilege and usually very exciting. However, having said that, after a long run of working with first-time directors, I said to my agent Lindy, I said, look, I'd love to work with an old master, you know, someone who's just knows it inside out and backwards. And then the call came from Woody Allen. I went, oh, that's it. And it was great. It was great to
in what sense was it great? I mean, tell me.
Well, it's just... The man's just made so many movies, and there's a lack of preciousness about them. He shoots everything so quickly. He'll just set up one frame, and 80% of the scenes in the film that we made, which is called Cassandra's Dream, are in just one frame. So there's no... You don't reset and do close-ups. You don't reset and do 2 shots. It's just one frame. You do the whole scene from start to finish 2 or 3 times, and then you move on. And there's something very... It's what gives his films their look and the style as well, because it's more like real life in a way, because if 2 people come into a room and have an argument, 2 people really do come into a room and have an argument. They don't stop and then reset the camera and then you do your argument and you do your side of the argument. We just have an argument, and it keeps it very real, and I just loved him as well. I loved... I
mean, when you look at this catalogue of films, it's quite extraordinary. You worked on that film with Colin Farrell, didn't you?
Yeah, he played my brother.
Hellraiser.
Yeah, I think...
The reputation of.
Yeah, sure. He's not a Hellraiser anymore, Colin.
But you don't drink now, do you?
No, I don't. So neither of us did, and we had a great time. We didn't raise any hell at all.
You gave up, what, 7 years ago?
Yeah, I haven't had a drink for about 7 years.
Why did you give up? What was the reason?
I'd had drunk enough, is the truth of it, you know. I had my share and your share and everyone's share out there. And I felt that it was time to stop. I think there comes a point, it was quite a clear point for me that...
Was it?
You know, things were going to start going downhill with my work and with every other aspect of my life, I think, if I didn't. So it was the thing that was expendable, you know.
Did you ever turn up for work drunk in those days when you were...
Yeah.
Do you?
I had done, yeah.
But how do you get through it if you're drunk?
By just carrying on to drink, just continuing to drink. Yeah, it's not a good... It's a road to ruin. It's not good. It's not good.
And was that the reason why you stopped? Because you understood that was affecting your work?
I think so, yeah. I think so. You lose the choice. You can scramble through, you know. And I did. But you lose all your choice. I think what happens when you're acting like that... And goodness knows there's been a lot of drunk actors in our time. Some great, great actors, right? You've interviewed them all.
1 or 2. And they were drunk too.
Yes, exactly. And... But you lose your choice, I think. You know, you find a way to play it, and you go, that's great, good. I'll play it that way. Excuse me a minute. And you go off and have a drink, and then you can play it like that. But if you're sober, of course, you can... There's many, many different ways to play it, and you get all your choice back.
Are you never tempted now?
No.
You're not?
I'm too happy without it. Really, really. I don't notice it now. I don't... It's funny, it's a concept that's difficult to grasp unless you just do it, unless you're living it. And it's just my life. I don't drink, and I don't miss it. I don't walk around as a guy going, oh my God, I really would like to have a drink, but I mustn't. I just don't drink. I don't want to. I don't miss it.